I'm live. I am live. I'm live. Get into this live, guys. I am live. Once again, I'm live. I don't know what. Hey, Osanze, Omorunyi. Good afternoon, good evening. What time is it here? It is almost 9 o'clock. It is very dark in my room, so forgive me if this video is not very clear. Hi, Cheryl Shanzala. Hi, guys. Welcome to another live. Welcome. I want to talk to you guys, and I want to listen to your opinion on this particular subject. I want to listen. Let me see, super chat, live chat. I want to listen to you guys' opinion. Actually, I'm not going to wait for people to come on this live. People will watch it after I have uploaded it. So I want to talk about adoption because it is something that is very close to my heart. I've been really looking forward to adopt since very long time. But I was thinking maybe I might try and do foster care or adoption, but I think I'm gonna do foster care in Kenya. I'm gonna do foster because there are a lot of children who need foster, and I have a roof. I have a house that I can house children who need it. So I wanted to do that. Obviously, it is one of my plans. So, but then there is something I've always obviously wanted to. There is somebody here who is on a live Zoom call, and I don't want to be noisy for her. So tumia hii ni loud. Jonah, niko live.
Unmute mic na sitaki ku-unmute yangu.
Okay. Kwa hivyo hata nikiongea ni sawa?
Sita unmute yangu.
Okay, sawa. So you guys, it is something that has been close to my heart to just give a kid a home. So help me God. But then I know that there is ups and downs of it. Okay, I'll have to pray about it first so that I can know the direction that I'm gonna take when it comes to fostering, fostering perhaps teenagers or fostering younger kids. I'm not sure about teenagers. So today I was just perusing the internet. Then I saw one lady, she's here on YouTube. Her name is Micah Stoffer. So she's one of this savior, the savior, what we call savior in this channel, you guys. You know what we call savior. Yes, you must know these people. So she have a YouTube channel that has more than 700,000, almost going to 1 million YouTube channel, as in her YouTube channel is quite huge. And she was basically just like having a family channel whereby, family channel, raising children and all this. And then he decided that a good idea to boost her channel and to boost her social media accounts, she was gonna go to China to adopt a child. So she did an entire episode of adoption, just so she can get views on the social media. You know, most of these people, these women from the, I don't want to seem like I'm being practicing racism or anything. I am not a racist, but I'm just saying that some of these women who are saviors, who put themselves in a position of savior, who think that they can take a kid, bring a kid, like they take a lot of children in Ethiopia, in a lot of different parts of Africa anyway. And sometimes they don't care to know if this, because you know, in most homes in Africa, as in most children's homes or most adoptions, sometimes people adopt children who are, they don't even look at their backgrounds. Some hospitals in Kenya, some maternity hospitals, I can speak for Kenya, I do know that they actually take children against their parents' wish. Because somebody can just, you know, in Kenya, if you go to maternity, you give birth alone. And if you become unconscious or you become sick or whatever, sometimes they just take your child. And the child, they replace your child with a child who was already dead. So they go take a child there. God, it's very sad, you guys, but that is what happens in Kenya. Especially, there is this hospital called Pumwani, the biggest hospital in Kenya. And that is it's a hospital that is very known, where children just mysteriously go missing, or children just like mysteriously get mixed up. So sometimes these kids go missing, and the parent gives birth to a child, and she's given a dead child, you know, a child that was already dead. So they replace. So when she's unconscious, when she gains her conscious, they tell her that, oh, well, you gave birth, but your kid died. This is your kid. Meanwhile, they have already taken her kid to the black market. And before she knows it, the kid has already been taken, you know, like given to one of these saviors, you know, the European women who come to Kenya to deliver African kids, as in, you know, rescue African kids. But most of the time, they don't know that these kids, some of these women don't know that these kids are actually illegitimate. Like the kids are sort of taken away from their parents by force. So it happens a lot in Kenya. But then, anyway, for about the story of this woman, the audacity that she had, even before she actually adopted that kid, she went on GoFundMe, and she asked people for money, so that, because she wanted to adopt. So people funded this adoption, you know, and I'm sure that the money that she was using for all this, that people donated, she put most of this money in the pocket anyway. And because she was using this kid to gain following, and you know, it's like people who adopt, they have to have some special heart. You cannot just wake up from nowhere and say, I'm going to adopt a kid. You know, there is just a lot of people on this social media that are hiding behind these cameras. But what they do, the reason, even their motives for creating these channels, is very questionable. Especially this lady, she was running these glamorous social media accounts, Instagram and YouTube, best parent, you know, that people are emulating, trying to make people think that she's such a perfect parent who have a perfect husband. Even her husband himself has a channel that is it's almost up to 1 million following. But these people, they have an agenda, obviously. It is what is more important to them is making money, obviously, on social media. So they take these kids and they pretend that they are taking care of these kids, but behind closed door, these kids, the kid, especially the kid now, that about this lady who's decided to take a kid from China, and then the kids come, she stays with the kid for 3 years, which it was very clear that she was mistreating and abusing that child. Because if you can see in some of her videos, the way she was talking to the kid, in some of her Instagram live, she speaks down to the kid, and you see that the kid just doesn't look happy. You know, the kid sorry, the kid is always just doesn't, the kid just looks out of place compared to her children. And it just seems like the way she took her kids was not the same way that she took this kid from China. So she used this kid for clout, for views, for all this, for Instagram following, for all this hashtag this and hashtag. And she was making videos kissing this kid in the mouth, and this glossy, posy video, making people think that she's such a perfect parent. And then after 3 years, after now she's made money with this child, she decides that she wants to return this kid to whatever. So she's returning. I don't know what type of adoption is this. I thought once you adopt a child, you adopt a child. There is no returning. So how come this woman has actually now decided to return the child, and now she's gotten a very, very big backlash. She's saying that the kid had autism, and the kid was a special need, and whichever agency, as in whichever adoption agency gave her the kid, lied to her and sort of gave her the kid without telling her if the kid had any special need, whatever. And she just feels like it's too much for her to handle. She cannot take care of him. So she's sort of rehomed. She's calling it rehoming. It's almost like a dog, the way you can take a dog and then rehome a dog, adopt a dog and then rehome a dog to a forever home. So when she's talking about this kid, she's almost just talking like she's talking about a dog, not a family, So there is no way that if she did not, the kids, lots of children usually have dada unaitwa lots of kids usually misbehave. Sometimes some kids get out of control and whatnot. I'm not saying a kid who is already more than 7 years old. I'm saying a kid who is less than, like small kids. In this case, this kid was only 3 years old. And the kids this age, they are very small. They don't know what they are doing. So why didn't she decide to give up or even take these children, give up a child to adoption agency, her own child? Why did she decide that the one that she adopted was the one that now she was going to give back? So she was not willing to work with his issues. It's very questionable, because most of the time the children who are adopted, they usually go through a lot of trauma. From the time that a kid is being taken in a children's home, there are kids who are very disturbed. And sometimes it's not even just necessarily the fact that you might find that the kid was just like feeling not loved. When a kid feels not loved, the kid will always have there's something with the kid. The kid will not feel welcomed, will not feel happy, and the kid will be a bit problematic because of him not having an environment that is much loving and understanding, obviously. So this lady was not very patient with this kid, and you could see the way she was acting, and it is just sad. And like she made a video with her husband talking about, if you want to, guys, you can later on go to her channel. I think maybe I will link the channel under this video so that you can go and see. Like, I saw that video and I was sick to my stomach. I just pray so much that God helps me when I bring a child into my home, a child from an orphanage. It's better if you are not ready to take care of a child, you'd rather leave this child in an orphanage rather than bringing this child in your home and breaking them and damaging them even more. Because not everybody is gifted, has a gift to stay with children, that to be an adoptive parent. Like for me, I would like to become an ona sema niko sawa, nishakula sawa. Useme tu niko kuja, useme naongea na mtu, sawa. So anyway, sorry guys, I was talking there with the lady here. So you don't just say I want to adopt just because it's fashionable, or so that people can see that I don't know why. There are people who have different reasons why they adopt. But I think this is a calling, and for me, it's not that I want to do it because because I just wanted to do it because it's been something that has been in my heart since very long time. And I've always, even before I came to the Emirates, I was dreaming about, there was a time I was dreaming, I had a dream that it was flooding somewhere, and it was such a big flood, and I was rescuing kids, and I had something on my head, and I was rescuing them and putting these kids on my head, and I was walking in this flood trying to put these kids bring them to safety. And then when I told one of the pastors in ministers in our church, and he told me that you are going to be a mother to many nations, and you will rescue a lot of kids. So when they told me that, as in, since then I've always been having this obviously not a lot, but the ones that I can manage. If I take one and I see how it is, I am very nervous about it. That's why I'm telling you guys I'm gonna pray about it, because I'm sure it's something that you need to have a heart for you to be able to stay with these children, because sometimes they might be very difficult children, or sometimes they might be just children who are coming from a background of trauma, abuse, and all this, and they need somebody who is very patient with them. So I think I have a heart for kids. I think I have a soft heart for kids, and I know myself. But if I did know that I cannot do it, like I will only bring a child in my home and wound them even further, I would never put myself, because you know the Bible, what the Bible says, whoever does something to harm a kid, is there's something that the Bible says that they are worth being their necks being tied and being thrown into, like being have such a severe punishment. So if I cannot defend the little ones, God's little ones, and I cannot protect them, and I cannot be there for them, and I know that I might just end up damaging them, I would rather not even go there. I would rather not even think of adopting or doing anything, because I know that. But it's because I've had a heart of it, and I'm still like sort of praying about it and asking God for direction, so that I will be ready when when the time comes for me to be a foster mom. Because when I was growing up, I just wanted somebody to sort of welcome me in their home, and I wanted to just feel like I belong somewhere. I had a home. I wanted to feel like I had a place called home that I never had. So you can imagine a kid having her own home, having her own bed, even if it is bunk bed. She has her own space, her own bed, her own wardrobe, her own wardrobe where she's putting her clothes, like she is settled and she belongs, and she's going to school, coming back home, and all this, And I was just talking okay, so with the lady, I think that story is over because it's getting me upset talking about it. I'm going to link that video so that you guys go and watch it. But when I was watching that video, I was sick to my stomach, especially knowing that they did not just genuinely go to China to bring that child. They just wanted some monetary thing. They just wanted to use that kid for money. And it is really sad that after all they had collected money from well-wishers, and and now they just decide to toss the kid away. And they were tossing the kid away when the kid was almost 2 years old, 3 years old, before his birthday. In this era of COVID, you are again returning a kid into the system after you've brought the kid all the way from China. Now you're putting a kid into the system. Like, it's not for everyone. People have really dark hearts. Okay, so you guys are saying Akuna Giza. All right, greetings. People are like that. They will use you and throw you away when they are finished. They do it seriously, like, the people, especially those two people, you just see that they really didn't have love for that kid. They didn't. They spoke down on him. The kid was sort of one of these kids who sucked his thumb, and they decided to duct tape, like to tie his hand, so that the kid does not suck their thumb. I'm like, excuse me, children do suck their thumbs when they want comfort. They do it for comfort. If I had a kid who was sucking their thumb, I will never tell my kid not to suck their thumb, unless if they were teenagers and they're still sucking their thumb, because that is, it's like, that is their comfort. That is a way of them calming their nerves and all that. You don't just get duct tape a kid's hand and tell her you cannot. I feel that is not okay. So anyway, now the lady is saying that the kid wanted to be returned. That is the reason why he's being returned. In this time of pandemic, you are returning a kid in the system while you are very comfortable in your duvet right now and happy. Now the kid is going to be misplaced again. Like, seriously, I don't know. You should have just left that kid in China. I'm feeling very upset talking about it. So we are going to talk about something else. Let me see. Mambo ya wazungu, very privileged. And sometimes they usually feel like, I'm white and I am privileged, I have money, I will be a savior, I will take care of this kid, I will take these children from Africa and I will bring them to, what. I'm not saying all of them are horrible, but just this kind of a lady, when you look at this kind of woman, she's giving very bad name to adoptive parents. And I think all adoptive parents should really rise up and denounce this kind of behavior. Like, you don't do this, honestly. You don't do this. You like, oh, you're welcome to my home. Oh, actually, you're not welcome. Go. Your time is up. You have to go back to the system. What is this? It doesn't make sense. To be honest, it doesn't make sense. She was not willing to work with his issues, and I don't think that kid had issues. I think that kid was just like unloved. And when a kid is unloved, they will show it. It will show it in their demeanor. If they are not loved, they will just be feeling all sorts of way. If you cannot force, they didn't love the kid. That's all. I think it's more than just special needs. She just didn't want him anymore. Exactly. It is like getting a present for Christmas, then she got fire. And I think, honestly, I think that the judge or they should demand for her to return all the money she made with that kid, because she exploited that kid here on the social media and made so much money, and a lot of brands were reaching out to her to do marketing with her just for the sake of her being a fake adoptive parent. She have her own biological 4 children, and then she adopted another one from China to look cool and to get subscribers. I was watching that, and the comments in that video has been disabled, like not disabled. There were comments, but it's very clear that the comments are being deleted, because everyone is very furious about that. Nobody does that. Even my own dog, I cannot return my own dog in a kennel. I cannot, and that's a dog. Huh? I love my dog too much. I cannot return my dog. Leave alone the baby. I cannot. So you can imagine she's returning a child. Too much. So, right. So it's almost like a gift that she got, and now she's tired of it, so she has to return it. Also, you have many women who marry mind over matters. So yeah, it was like I wanted to do it, but then I want to do it. Those are one of the things that I have to do when I'm in Kenya. I'm going to look into fostering. But I was thinking either adoption or fostering. So I will foster, because I think you have time. Foster is you have a contract of 1 year renewable, I think. And after 2 years, you can still renew another contract for the second year to stay with the kid. And I think after that, you can decide to either adopt, or it depends. So it will definitely just depend on how I see it. But if it would be nice, I would like to adopt a brother and a sister, like to foster a brother and a sister. Like, I don't want, if a kid had a sibling, I don't want them to be in the system. I want at least both of them to come home. So yeah, that is what, when people are doing anything for me, I want to know, what do they want? I know I am shocked and saddened that someone will prevent an autism from comforting himself in any way possible, sucking thumb, something that needed to be overlooked. I have an autism son, and he comforts himself by rocking back and forth, sucking at yeah, exactly. Like, for me, even if a child wasn't an autism kid, if a kid is sucking their thumb, it's because they want to be calm. It's okay. I don't think it's something that you're duct taping a child's hand because they are sucking their thumb. That is an abuse. And I would not tolerate that at all. And you know, I was just like, this is all the things that sometimes makes me, I know that it cannot reach a point where I will return a kid. It doesn't matter how horrible would a kid be for me to even consider returning a kid in the system again. How, my goodness, it's just a kid. You know, how horrible. And if I need help, I would get a housemaid or somebody to, or a nanny. Like, they were earning a lot of money. They could have easily hired somebody to help them take care of, give them an extra hand in the house. Like, they didn't really need to return the kid, you know. It was just too much. So anyway, you guys, I am still thinking about this. This is one of the projects that I want to do when I go back to Kenya, and I will definitely bring you guys along when I go. You know, I do this foster thing. I will manage. And then I was just thinking, I was just telling my friend, we were talking, we were having a very heated debate, because I was just telling her that for me, I think I'm going to be somewhat a strict parent, and not strict in a bad way. I am African, I have African principles. I want to raise my child with a certain principles, things that have to be adhered to. And there are things that I learned that they cannot cross. I told her that from the time they are young, they know principles, and they are rules and regulations in the house. And if you cross them, there is punishment for it. So we were just talking, and then she was telling me that, you know, once a child is your child, but then it depends on what age, because what we were talking about. And she actually, when I spoke to her about when the way I was telling to her, she told me, if that is how you are, then, and I want you guys to give me your opinion, because this is what was a very heated debate, and I sort of felt a bit offended that someone was telling me that if that is how I am, then I cannot be a good adoptive, a foster. I cannot be a good foster. So the argument was that I want to be strict, because I know how the world is out here. I used to stay with my sister, and I was somewhat strict, but in a very loving way, because I knew that I wanted them to, you know, especially when you are a mother figure, you want your children not to go astray, or even to have peer pressure around. But then you just want them to be very straightforward children who are serious with their schoolwork, doing what they are needed to do. And then you tell them what are the consequences of, for example, what we were talking was about premarital sex. I was telling them that I cannot tolerate that under my house, in my house, especially when they do it and they fall pregnant. This was the thing that was, especially when they are teenagers. After 18, I told them, after you are 18 years old, you are grown and you are at an age of consent. You know exactly what is good and what is wrong, because mommy has always been talking to you and told you, take care of yourself, boys this, boys that, use protection, know the consequences of premarital sex and all this. These are the kind of things that I talk to them about. But if an 18-year-old, a 19, a 20-year-old decides to not listen to mommy, for example, and goes and messes around with some deadbeat, good-for-nothing boys, and then brings pregnancy home, what do? I told them, this is exactly what I told them. I told them that once you are 18 and you know how to start opening your legs, making me know that you are ready. When you open your legs and become pregnant, making me know that you are ready to take responsibility for that pregnancy, and also take responsibility for raising that child, right? Because, and then she said, no, you have to, sorry guys, the live got a bit interrupted, and she just argued because it's okay. Kid can be a kid and can be as sexually adventurous as they want under my roof, and I cannot say anything, especially when you've reached the age of consent. I say now it's time for them to find a job and get outside of my house. Find a job, take responsibility, get outside of my house. I told her that. And then she said, then you're not ready. You cannot be adoptive parents. You cannot be an adoptive parent. You cannot be an adoptive parent if you are going to have a child, or after your child, of course, that this is now my child. If I adopt, it's my child. But if you don't take responsibility and you're being careless, then there are consequences for this. So I told her that if she comes home with pregnancy, first of all, and after we have spoken, yes, and she has to be open, and maybe she gives birth to the baby, I don't want to be a grandmother now. Why is she bring me baby at home, So anyway, we had a very heated argument, and then she told me, just don't adopt, And you guys, I want you guys to tell me exactly what you guys think. What you guys think about being a strict parent, especially if I have my own kid or I've adopted. What is your say regarding premarital sex, pregnancy, and all this at home? What is your say? So Ruby, where is the child now? Poor chap. The child is been put back in the system. I wish you well with fostering. I had to be in foster care as a child. Oh, bless you, bless you. And somebody else is saying, I think you will be a good foster parent. Yay! My friend was telling me that I will not be a good foster parent. Like responsibilities. Take responsibility for your own actions. Like, people don't just go around sleeping around. Like, I will tell my child that you have to wait until you're married. Celibacy, 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 celibacy. Mommy is celibate. You have to be celibate also. Let me see. Unless you have money and you can raise a child, then you can go opening your legs. Because after that, I will just tell them, when you open your legs, you get out of my house. And then, I was living with a niece of mine, whom sort of I took her over. And she was over 18. She was in her almost going 25 and stuff. And she had finished university, and we always had this kind of conversation. We talked about this. And I told her that the minute you start opening your legs, know that you are ready to take care of that child. Whatever happens, you are ready. And I told them that until you find a job and you are able to take care of a child, do not get pregnant. I told them, do not. And if you do, you get out of my house, And especially if you've reached an age of consent. At 18, I would say you're still young. I would say you're still young. You still need college degree, whatnot, for you to find a job. But after, I don't even want to bring that to my experience, because to me, I feel like I'm going to have the most disciplined kids who understand life, because I will drill that into their head until they really understand it. And I don't want to bring it into my experience, because I cannot imagine my little girl coming home with, no, it's not happening. So what are you guys saying about this? I'm strict also. I think you will be a good, thank you. Was he returned back to China? No, the child was put back into American system, adoptive, like foster care system, in the system. So another family will take him for foster. I feel bad, but anyway. I'm strict also, but loving, no bad behavior tolerated. Exactly, And the person that I was talking to, I feel like she's very, with her child, like she's very, I don't think she's very strict with her child. Her child does whatever she wants. And me, I don't think I would be like that as a parent, So she was like, the child will just be whatever she wants, let the child be and stuff like that. And I don't know how I feel about that. I cannot just let the child be under my roof. No. I hate those people that allowed kids to climb up the wall. Yes, once they are responsible to have sex, that is their own issues. Once you warn them, it is no longer your problem. Mind over matters. I want you to tell me exactly what could happen to you if you, let's say the kid has reached an age of consent, 18 plus, and they be going around still under your roof, but they are going around getting pregnancies and bringing them home. What would you like? Will it not be time for you to force this kid to be now responsible because there's a kid who needs milk and diapers? They are still under my roof. Not that is kid number one. If you are still complacent and very good to her, she will get too comfortable and bring another number two. Because and then before you know it, number three, and number four, they have now 4 children under your roof. Hey, no. You guys tell me if this is the way I'm thinking is wrong. Because to me, we were just having a heated argument with my friend, and my friend told me that if this is how I think, then I cannot be a good foster parent. I was like, excuse me? And my feelings were hurt because she knows that I'm going to be an adoptive parent one day, but she told me that I will not be a good one. What do you guys think? Hmm? What do you guys think? You are ready to be an adoptive parent. Don't listen to your friends. Premarital sex is a no-no. Is a no-no. Nothing wrong with parent being strict. Exactly. Exactly. After the age of consent, I will tell them to take off this child herself and leave. See, mind over matter. See, now you are my sister. I said, okay, I will not, like, after the age of decent, probably I would just tell her, find a job and you have to leave. Maybe leave the child with me. Leave the child with me, but you have to leave. But what if they bring another one? Because I'm ready to always take these kids in. Hmm? Will take care of this child herself and leave. Let the child's father look after the child. You are not the daddy. What about sex with birth control? I don't know, but at what age do you start telling a kid about birth control? You know, at what age? Because there were women who were arguing, because there's a lot of in Africa, in most African countries, women are not very open with their girl child. They don't teach their girl child about this premarital sex and consequences that comes with it. So you find that girl child just be going around. There's a lot of unwanted pregnancies, And one thing that I know is that my child will not have an abortion. That is out of the question. If I know about it, if I know that the kid is pregnant, I will never. It doesn't matter how old this kid is. I will never encourage the kid to do this. Doesn't matter if the body is hers or what. If she gets an abortion, also she get out of my house, because I cannot tolerate a killer in my house. I'm sorry. So, as a single mom, I have set an example with my celibacy, and I have concentrated on raising one son I had out of wedlock. I didn't have time to go out and date and make another baby. So this is an example that you have set for your child, right? I set example like this for the people, the children, kids that I was living with, but still they went, still they went out and did whatever they did. In this case, how would you react? This is what I want to know, because when my niece did this, when my niece get one pregnancy after the other, with a kid dying and her not even telling me about the kid's death, and again getting pregnant again, with me not knowing all this, I got very upset and I kicked her out. I told her, never come back to my house. Go, and because you are more than 20 now, you are more than 20 years. And the time that you are removing your panty, you look at the consequences. You are very young, you're very broody. There is a possibility of having a baby. And if you have this baby, what will happen to this baby if you don't even have money for milk? You still don't have a job. I used to talk to them like this, and they are thinking that I'm just making noise. Until the day she got pregnant again and again. I say to her, enough, go now. And then my friend told me that I'm not fit to become a foster parent if this is how I think. Guys, this hurt my feelings. If you are too soft, they will come back every year with babies. Exactly. And this is not allowed. They will know. Sometimes there are just some boundaries that you don't cross. It depends on how you raise your kid. Talk about birth control as soon as she sees her first period, or you begin to have sexual talks. But like some parents, I was asking about, there was this lady who was saying that her daughter is 13 and she's already, there's a boy who's bothering her, who like she gets like I think the daughter has a phone. I don't even know at what age should the kid have a phone. Like I'm not comfortable with a kid having a phone and having access to WhatsApp, internet and all this at 13. I feel like that is too young. And I feel like even just leaving her to watch this type of things unattended, and also I feel like them watching things TV until wee hours, and also I have to monitor what type of things are they watching. If they are not listening to anything godly on TV, what can I say? I'm speaking Luo. I'm not speaking Luo. Like if they are not listening to preachings, these Kondo Sobre episodes of kissing and all this romance, what are these? Hmm? The people that they are watching already have their own career and own life going on. And they are teaching these kids that it is okay for them to do this. They are still in my house. I don't think I will allow my child to be watching this type of episodes. And do you guys think no phone, some episodes not watching past 9 o'clock, not watching TV, not even sneaking on the living room to watch TV? Do you think this is too strict? I think I'm going to be too strict. Oh my God. Mama Bear is already awake. I am not a girl child. And I don't know, there was a time when my niece's kid did this, when my nephew did this, had pregnancy after the other, I said I don't want girl child in my house again. But I think that a girl child, I don't know, a girl child, especially like me, I can only foster a girl child. So okay, somebody else talk about birth control. And what was I saying? I was saying that about this birth control, I was saying that this lady, she's 13, her baby is 13, and her baby was already, having boyfriend issues and heartbreak, whatever. And so she was asking if she can take her child to a gynecologist and not even explain to the child about being given birth control, in form of injection. She wants her child, because her child have already started knowing boys. Now her 13-year-old, she is asking whether it is okay to have this kid on an injection. I'm not sure. I'm not sure really. Like, you're just taking a kid in the hospital and telling her you need an injection, and you're not explaining to the kid what is this injection for. Maybe after you have had the sex talk with the kid, then you take this kid to the gynecologist to have the kid injected. I don't know how I feel about this. What do you guys think about this? About this birth control at 13? At 13, will you start talking about this birth control? Because for me, at 13, I feel like they should not even start boy stuff. They are too young for this kind of nonsense. 12 years old is good age to start talking about abstinence. I feel like 12 is a baby, 12. But nowadays, kids has mature so fast. I think you have to be ready. African parents don't do this kind of talks with their kids, but I think you have to be ready. It is better to explain the birds and bees early. Hi, my dear. I'm so happy today I got you live. I'm locked. Yes, Ranjis. Nice to see you there. Your niece took advantage. It is so difficult having someone to help you. Instead of studying and using the opportunity wisely, she got pregnant. And for me, my problem was not that she got pregnant. The problem was that she got pregnant and she hid pregnancy from me to an extent. She gave birth, and after she gave birth, the child died, she buried a child, and I had no idea. That was more hurtful for me. If she had told me that she was pregnant, I would have gotten over it, She's given birth. Even if she had told me that she got pregnant and the child passed away, I could have gotten over it. But the fact that she just kept quiet, I kept sending school fees, I kept paying everything, but she was busy with boys. That didn't rub me the right way. And when I told my friend about this, she said I'm not fit to become a foster parent. I'm like, why are you hurting my feelings? Guys, I don't understand. Sometimes my friend don't understand me at all. Sometimes they just hurt my feelings like this. I don't understand why we are not on the same page, especially the way I'm talking. You guys seem to really understand what I'm saying. I'm saying that by a certain age, you must be responsible for your actions. You cannot just be popping kids and kids dying and again going and popping another one. You don't have a job, you don't have anything. No. If I say this, I'm not fit to become a foster parent, or I'm not fit to become a parent, I don't know, maybe I'm old-fashioned. Okay, so Black Snapper is saying, my father talked to me about sex at 8. My mother never said anything. Oh my goodness, at 8. That is so young. They are still watching cartoon. What do they know at 8? I don't know. I think I will be too overprotective. And I know that there was a time I used to live with another lady. I used to work for a lady in Kenya, in Nairobi. And she had a 13 years old daughter who was in primary school. And the girl came back home with a very older man who was in his 20s, you know. And she told me that was the uncle. She told me, this is my uncle, and because me, I don't know people in this house, I just thought it's the uncle. And I saw them playing and laughing. So when the mom came in the evening, I told her, actually, uncle was here. Somebody called uncle was here with your daughter, and they were in the house. They were dancing and then the mom investigated and found that it was somebody who was just exploiting her kid, you know. And another day I was washing her uniform and I found condoms in her clothes. And the day that woman beat her child, to an extent she was almost killing that girl, you know. To an extent she took a scissor and cut all her hair off, and she was 18. Can you imagine 18 and she's still thinking, oh, my baby is very small, my baby is very small. Already have a 28-year-old boyfriend at 13. Can you imagine? Hmm? Somebody is saying to me, I never had sex as a child. My mother was there for me until I was 14, and my mother and father were married until my mother passed away. But my mother's teaching stayed with me in foster care. Huh? But my mother's teaching stayed with me in foster care. Oh, okay. Like whatever your mom told you, you kept it in your heart. Yeah, I think I will drill this in my kid's ear. I'll drill this. But for me, you know, the reason why I remained celibate was because I stayed in my growing up. I saw a lot of people dying of AIDS, and I saw a lot of premarital issues. I saw a lot of fights. I saw a lot of sicknesses, and all this drama was going on. So to me, staying away from relationships and boys was the safest way, you know. So that is what I was almost feeling like everyone is infectious out here, and that is what kept me from being celibate. That is what kept me being celibate, actually. So I would say that I thank God for that, because I didn't have time. I was like looking at my background, and I was like, excuse me, I cannot bring a child into this world to eat grass with me the way I'm eating grass. Like I'm eating, I have no food. How will I feed a kid? How? Like I just don't want to bring a kid into the, you know, into the poverty that I was going through. So I was not, having a baby was the last thing in my mind, you know, and I had to do anything to avoid me from having a baby, including stay away from boys. And that was it. I was just not comfortable enough to just sit and cozy with sit cozy with men. Yes, I had men hitting on me. I had men writing me letters even when I was in high school. I had men, you know, all over the place with me because they are always on heat, no. And I was just like, stay away from them, you know, stay away from them. You see how many graves is in your homestead? Stay away. And all of these people died because of this. So I always thought that sex makes people die. So I was always away from it. And somebody else is saying, hi Ruby, hello, princess. Hey, I see you there, princess. Don't mind having the kid having a phone that only allows them to call me and the police, no other call. I think the phone doesn't, the one that doesn't have internet, you know, and the one that I monitor, like I monitor. I don't know, this, the phone that doesn't have WhatsApp and internet. These kids be reading messages, be getting messages, and I don't know, man. I don't know. My kid will not have a phone for some time. Okay, so 9 p.m. is fair. They need to go to school in the morning. They should be in bed by 8. Exactly. Like, I usually see people having their kids watching movies, especially adult themed movies, until midnight, 1, 2. Like kids are not monitored at all. I don't know, guys. I don't know what kind of a parent I will be, but I think I will be a parent who is overprotective. I protect my child's space and I protect my child's environment. Like for example, the way some movies are not meant for kids, especially movies who are talking about profanity, you know, and you know, talking about adults theme. Why should they watch these things? I don't. It doesn't rub me the right way. It doesn't. It just doesn't rub me the right way. So I will be. What I know is that I will be very protective. If me myself, I don't even watch these movies, why would he find the need to watch them? First of all, you need to make money so that he can buy his own TV. What is he sitting being cozy for on my TV? Listen to me, I'm yeah. Oh my god, I'm even celebrating laughing. What type of a parent am I going to be? The kids will be taken care of, but I'm going to be a mama bear. Huh? Internet, no other calls. Okay, so um Chia Divine, hey, how are you? Mind over matters, you've said 9 p.m. is okay. It's important to keep the communication open and free. Don't be so strict that the child closes up or want to rebel. The preacher's daughters are usually the most promiscuous. You're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. I think I have to find that balance. I think I have to find that balance. Actually, I like the way Akode, you know that we have this celebrity Akode. I like the way she relates to her children. And sometimes I really just like the way they have this kind of very open conversation with her children. I hope I will be a mom whom my children are free and they can come to me and tell me anything, man. I hope so, man. I hope so. I hope so. Because I will be asking them questions. My sister was always asking my sister questions, and she was always like, no, nothing. Everything is okay. No, no, no. I thought she was free with me, but she was never free with me. So you never know, man. It's important to keep the community. Yeah, that is very, very true. 13 years old should not be having sex at all. How did she get the time to have sex? She should be at school, back home, no time. You know what? She was going to school and then coming back via bus, via public transport. So when the kids come back from school, you don't know where they go, you know. So this kid used to go to school and come back with this man. And for me, I thought the man was actually a relative until the day I told the mom. And the mom said, "What?" The mom was so upset. Upset was even not a word enough to describe how she felt. She beat that daughter, but that daughter was just she had a promiscuous blood. My son never takes a phone to church, and he puts his phone away when he gets home. He won't take it to restaurants or even when he visits other people's home. He reminds me, keep my manners to. Oh, you have such a sweet kid. How old is he? Bless him. Man, you're doing something good with your life. You're doing something good. I'm proud of you for raising such a wonderful boy. How old is your son? Nikita Tuto, remember this story you once talked about? That cousin. But you know, she's not a cousin, she's a niece. And until today, she's never spoken to me. After that incident that I confronted her and told her that I know everything she did, she has never even reached out. And I'm like, okay, it's okay. I'm not going to beg her to see the light. I am not going. If whatever she did was the right thing to do, okay, it's okay. I don't really want to dwell on it anymore. So you need to dump that friend of yours. She doesn't have good morals. Something, you people have different friends, people have different friendships, and I believe that people have different characters even as friends, and that is what makes us unique. I don't have to follow her way or even listen to her advice, but I can tell you for the truth of the matter is that my feelings were hurt when I told her that I cannot tolerate some behaviors, and she said that I'm not capable of being a foster mom. I was like, how can you tell me that? And you know me, when I say tolerate certain behavior, you know me, you know me how I am. I'm your friend, and you know me how I am, especially when it comes to promiscuity. And she was like, you cannot allow the kid. You cannot want the kid to be just like you. I'm like, no, but there has to be rules that has to be followed. And one of them is that premarital sex is not allowed under my roof. For what is they having sex for? What are they doing it for? Like, seriously? The day they will know how to have sex is the day they will know how to start paying rent, how to start paying bills. That is the time they have to. They move out and go have it outside my house, not in my house, please. Look how many women who have been destroyed. You sound like me. Uh, you sound like me. I stayed celibate out of fear also. Mine was more money fear. I didn't want to struggle with a baby. I stayed far away from boys. That's me exactly. Look how many women who have been destroyed by sex and bad relationships. Exactly. Exactly. Ain't nobody got time, man. Each child is different. Some mature sexually very early or are curious about it. Don't be so hard that the child is good in front of your face and does all types of nonsense when you are not around. So if they mature early sexually, should I just let them be mature early and be practicing on intercourse? Can you clarify that, Black Snapper? Because me, a teenager is not supposed to be sexually active. For what are they doing that for? It's not allowed. Mind over matters. You can get phone without internet. Exactly. They can have a little phone. Children will follow your lead in more things that you think. You know what? I will just say that I will pray. I will pray over them. Oh man, you guys, I have major what is it called? I have major anxiety over this, especially the kids when they are teenagers and they start. I want my kid to have the same personality as I have, same personality and outlook regarding relationships and men. Yeah, especially how I had it when I was young, because I knew that if you love me and you love me, you'd want to wife me, not get inside my pants and dump me. No, I don't know, man. I feel like that's not love. My dear, here in the Czech Republic, kids can get married by 12. Eh? Chineke. The constitution states they can get married with parents' permission. Hey, 12. Hiya, Jesus is Lord. Mind over matters is saying just because they mature does not mean that they should be allowed to have. You guys, I cannot wrap my head around my teenage girl doing that. I'm sorry. I cannot wrap my head around it. So what we talked about the if you notice, because somehow you will notice if your child is active, you will find out. What do you do? When do you start talking about? Can you encourage your child to start doing family planning or, birth control? Can you, if your child gets out of control to an extent they are going around doing this, can you take them to a gynecologist and give them injection? Can you do that? Some of us moved out at 17. 17, what were you doing? You had a job already? 17, I feel like 17 is too young. I usually in my head, I envision my kid moving out of home on their wedding day. I don't know why. They are getting married. That is when they are leaving home. You know, I don't know why I'm just envisioning this. I'm just envisioning the fact that they will be going. The first time they be leaving, going out of my house is when they are getting married, and that is in their maybe 25, 24, 25. Some of us moved out at 17. I feel like 17 is too young, but if it worked for you, oh well. For me, I moved out because that was the only choice I had, because I just didn't want to stay with my mom under the same roof. To an extent, she's sleeping there, I'm sleeping. It's just one room. How can she be giving birth to me until I am 18? She raised me and all that time. And then now I'm sleeping, still sleeping. No, I don't feel comfortable. It's I feel like I cannot sleep here in one room and she's also sleeping there, and I've reached an age of I will even go work as a housemaid so that I can move out of my mother's house. It's too much. So yes, the child, especially girls, should allow to stay at their home until they are married. This means nobody will take advantage of them. But sometimes some kids out here are very, very mature. There is a lot of girls who are mature and they take responsibility, and you just trust them. For me, so long as you don't come home with pregnancy, you can do whatever you want with your life, because there's a point that you cannot monitor a kid. Is she having sex? Is she not having sex? She's not with you all the time. So long as if she's taking care of herself. And again, I don't want to let her know that I don't care as long as you're taking care of yourself. That will give her a pass to do it anyway. Go around doing it. And what about if she have contraception? And what about HIV, syphilis, hepatitis A and B? My friend, a lot of people are out here infecting each other, and I cannot, So you you will have to block them from accessing the opposite sex. You bring them to school and bring them home in the evening. But I will tell you guys, these kids who are very protected are the worst ones. I want to trust my kid, and I want to give her as much freedom as possible, knowing that she's responsible and she's not. But I have an anxiety thinking about this. For you people who have teenagers and you are raising them and they are very responsible, may God bless your hearts. May God, especially when you have girl child, maintain your policy on sex. It is clearer to control who your children associates, who influences them greatly rather than their sexual habits. Associates and open communication will get you far. Yes, yes. I don't want my kid to be my enemy, but I also don't want my kid to be my best friend either. And I want to also be a disciplinarian, but I want to have a balance. You know what I mean? I want to have a balance, especially when you're going to get a kid who is a foster, who is gonna be a foster. I want to get a foster kid whom I'd eventually decide to adopt, but I don't want them when they are older enough and they can understand the whole concept of I want them when they are small. So they are just growing from my house from the time they are young. And yeah, so at school, you monitor after 18. At school, you must monitor. There is a kid in this house who is very noisy. You monitor after 18, you should be monitoring themselves. After 18, yeah, you should trust the kid. Make them God-fearing and loving and not like hypocrites, so they have spiritual guidance. It's true. You must make them to see the consequences of early sex. Let them see the poverty and the disease to make them scared. And then I'll tell them, once you do whatever you want, you will not have the freedom that you have in this house. You will not have a roof on top of your head. You will not have. The minute you go and mess around is the minute where all these privileges will be finished for you. And then now you have to fend for yourself. Then they will listen to me. Hopefully they will listen to me. So anyway, you guys, this video has taken too long. As you can see outside, people are busy doing their own stuff. And this video is gonna be noisy now because anyway, it's too long anyway. But you guys, thank you for stopping by and for subscribing. I'll see you in my next video. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.